Yo! In this video I'm going to explain what Season of Mastery is, who it's aimed for, what this season is all about, what the next seasons could be. I will also address some common concerns from the WoW forums, and I will share what I will be doing for Season of Mastery and what this video is to me. If you've been asking yourself if you should play it or not, hopefully this video will give you some answers. Before I get into this, I want to ask, what are you going to be playing in this season, if you are playing, that is. And finally, in the description I will have links to the developer notes, design intentions, realm list, and dates for name reservations and release. Timestamps will also be down there, so without further ado, let's get into it. So what is Season of Mastery, and who is it aimed for? It's a season-based game. Like Blizzard's Diablo 3, like Overwatch, like League of Legends, etc, etc. You start fresh every year, and each season will have changes backed by design philosophies. Season of Mastery is not retail, it's not TBC, and it's not vanilla. It is its own thing. Even though it's not vanilla, it's clearly aimed at people who enjoy classic WoW 2019, but likely left before or during TBC. What is this season all about? The design philosophy behind this season is to make raid encounters harder, and to shorten the lifespan of the season to 1 year. This will potentially provide us with a challenging and more meaningful journey through the 12 months, and the 12 months will be easier for the seasonal design they are hoping for, meaning every year another season, etc, etc. This season's philosophy has brought changes such as more difficult and longer boss fights, and some quality of life changes on the side like summoning stones, the TBC looking for group tool, item changes, and curtailing, boosting, ludicrous farms, and botting as well. What the next seasons could be. When a new season will come up, the dev team behind Season of Mastery will adjust their changes from the previous season if they were bad. If they were good though, they will keep them, ultimately making each season better and better. For example, if the removal of world buffs turned out to be a bad decision because we can't progress through a raid boss or removed a social aspect or something, they could buff every class to feel like they still have the world buffs and maybe make it so raids are only accessible from, I don't know, a expert flight master in the capital, so that way you can always see 40 people from the capital flying to the deadly entrance or something like that, making it more immersive. That's just a thought of many thoughts that can potentially happen in the next seasons. Once they've adjusted the changes from the previous season, they will likely gain another design philosophy for the next season so they can make more changes. The next season after this could be making dungeon encounters more refreshing, harder, or memorable, or maybe it could be adding dungeon/raids to the season without changing the max level, of course. And then alongside that, they could add quality of life changes such as small class changes to make them more unique and less memey, or perhaps season-based achievements or hardcore official servers. The changes could be anything. And considering the dev team behind Season of Mastery, they have been listening to our concerns. If there is something that a lot of people want in Season of Mastery, it could happen in one of our next seasons. Now I will be addressing some concerns or problems that have come up in the WoW forums, and give my take. One thing that comes up is class changes. believing that it's not going to happen, and then saying Season of Mastery will fail because of it. They addressed it in their design intentions that no changes will happen this season, but can happen in future seasons if you read carefully. They are only planning on changing things that won't go against the design philosophy of the season. Small class changes may affect how we encounter raids, for example, and may make it easier or harder, which requires more balancing, which is not their intention right now for this season. But it can be for the next season. The hashtag some changes means something here. They are only doing some changes each season, so they aren't doing it this season, but they could be doing it in the next seasons. If they change it too drastically, it may just end up being like retail, and has features people want, but also features they don't want. This can be said for things like dual spec, I would say reduced respec cost, racial balancing, etc. Just not this season. Another is that some people are saying, what's the point in doing this, knowing that your character will be gone at the end of the season, or stuck as a trophy in classic era servers. In the grand scheme of things, every MMO has a start date but also an end date. TBC Classic, Retail, Final Fantasy, A New World will eventually run out of content. Every character you put into an MMO won't be there forever. Neither will the MMO itself. Again, it's about the journey, not the destination. The fact that this is a seasonal based game, fresh every year, allows you to have more than one journey. If you're put off with your character being a trophy or cease to exist after a year, then don't play it. Another is that some people are asking for is to move on to TBC after Season of Mastery, for like a fresh TBC or something. Given that TBC at this point is still ongoing and you can still play it, this is probably coming from people who quit TBC because of the issues that have been fixed in Season of Mastery but haven't been implemented into TBC, like anti-botting, curtailing boosting and ludicrous farms. However, this is a seasonal based game, one season every year, starting from fresh. I would imagine TBC wouldn't fit into Season of Mastery. I can imagine the balancing, quality of life, and some raid/dungeons being implemented from TBC into Season of Mastery, but not TBC itself. Like time walking dungeons/raids or Karazhan, like those could be implemented, I would imagine. The only way I think they would do a fresh TBC is if they do another Season of Mastery, but for TBC only. But I don't think that would happen unless there is a mass support for it. The last thing I'm going to address from the forums is that people are asking for no changes. The vast majority, though, disagree and want changes. However, if there is a will, there is a way. If you personally feel like no changes is better, try to gather as many people who are interested in no changes as well as you, and then organize them to play fresh on a classic era server. It won't be as popular, since most people want changes, but if you don't try, you don't get it. Simple. I prefer changes myself, so I'll probably stick with Season of Mastery. Now that I've done all of that, I want to share what I will be doing during this season. I will be rolling on a PvE server called Kingsfall in EU, as I have had my fair share of world PvP, that's for certain. I'm going Orc Warrior because I love Warrior and I went Alliance last time. So this will give me a fresh feeling, and finally, I'm going to aim for rank 14 in Battleground PvP, and just chill, since I went raiding last time. Again, what is it that you will be doing in Season of Mastery this time around? This video will likely be my last video for a while. If I make another, it will likely be at the end of the season. This is because I want to chill and get rank 14. My plan was never to go big with this channel. It was just for me in the future to see how things went, but I am interested in what others think about Season of Mastery at this time. I will probably stream my adventure, although not like a job of course, because that's effort. Thanks for watching, and I hope you will have fun playing Season of Mastery if you are. See ya.